Kevin Rudd and Tony Abbott will spend much of today preparing for the first debate of the election campaign, as another poll suggests the coalition is in front after week one. It comes as the campaign claims its first political casualties, with two ALP candidates bowing out in disgrace. Joining me now, Sky News political reporter David Lipson. David, how will the leaders be preparing for the debate tonight? Of course, we know Tony Abbott's going to be running the City2Surf.
Yeah, he's running the City2Surf, which is really interesting. It sort of highlights the difference between Kevin Rudd and Tony Abbott. We knew that, Kevin Rudd described this debate as a contest between a bookish nerd and a boxing blue, and in some ways that has been shown to be the case today, because Kevin Rudd is preparing for this debate in Canberra. He will be calling on some advice from some Labor Party elders, people like Senator John Faulkner, who will be advising him on the best tactics to take to this debate. We do know that a range of topics will form the centrepiece of the debate, things like the economy, which already has been the centre of this campaign so far, jobs, which has also been very important. The issue of asylum seekers as well will come up, but it will be a really important test for both leaders tonight as they face off at the National Press Club in Canberra. Our political editor David Spears will be, of course, moderating that debate. As for Tony Abbott, well, as you mentioned, Suzanne, he is actually in Sydney today, and he is running the City2Surf. He loves his exercise in the mornings, and he figures that, well, if he's going to do exercise, he may as well do it with 80,000 people alongside him as well. He had this to say on the Nine Network just a short time ago.
Look, everyone does these things in their own way. As you know, I like to get a bit of exercise every day. It's part of my mental health regime, and I figured that I could either run around the back blocks of Forestville or I could be out with 80,000 of my fellow Australians with Nathan. And I figured to be with 80,000 people and with Nathan, way to go.
And standing by is our political reporter Laura Jays at the City2Surf. Laura, you've just managed to have a chat to Tony Abbott. We have that ready for you.
Yeah, look, as you say, he's preparing for the debate today. It is unconventional for perhaps any other leader, but for Tony Abbott, we know that he's addicted to exercise. I have to tell you, on every day of the campaign so far, he's been up at 5 o'clock or a little bit earlier, either running or riding, and he considers it part of his mental health. So for him, I guess this is the best strategy going into the most important debate of this election campaign. Now, when you look at where the leaders have been each week, a lot of the commentators are saying that perhaps Tony Abbott is just a little bit ahead, and the polls are certainly reflecting that. Anyway, I did catch up with Tony Abbott and asked him about his preparation for the debate today. So you've got a big debate tonight, the first of the campaign. Is this an unconventional way to prepare?
For me, it's an entirely conventional way because I tend to get a bit of exercise every day. Most parliamentary sitting days, for instance, I'll start by riding my bike up and down Red Hill, and that's what I do for a parliamentary sitting day. Why shouldn't I prepare for a debate by getting a bit of exercise, particularly in company with 80,000 of my fellow Australians?
And you do get up very early during the campaign, 5 o'clock or early. Is this something?
I've had a sleep in this morning.
Is this something?
Have to get up until 5:45.
Are you going to be able to sustain that as Prime Minister, do you think?
Oh,
if successful, of course.
Look, the short answer is yes. It's been my routine now for almost 4 years. John Howard had a pretty gruelling personal regime as well. His walk was as fast as a lot of people's runs. And look, he did that for 11 years.
And just finally, do you consider yourself one of the chief ambassadors of the Mammal Club, the middle-aged men in Lycra?
I'm not wearing any Lycra today, but yeah, you'll see me in Lycra from time to time.
Mr. Abbott, thank you.
Thanks, Laura. Thank you.
And David, you know all about the Mammal Club. Of course, you joined Tony Abbott on the Polly Pedal earlier this year. So he said he's not in Lycra today. He thought that was a bit of a joke, the Mammal Club, but certainly we do see him in Lycra quite a bit when he gets on his bike. Now today he is running the City2Surf. It's 14 Ks, but he's not running it on his own. You might have noticed Nathan there beside him. This is one of his friends, but a special friend, if you like, because he's an amazing athlete, because he he does these events. He's done a marathon, an Ironman, and he's got 90%, or he's 90% blind. He only has 10% of his vision. So Tony Abbott running alongside him today, and hopefully we'll see them both at the finish line.